right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. It's season 3, episode 3. It's Euphoria. It's Recap and Record. I'm Levi. That's Los. As always, here we are for another week. I'm going to do it in the beginning this time, so make sure you like, subscribe, hit the like button, follow us on Instagram, YouTube. We've been dabbling and posting some other places as well, but Instagram's where it's at, so make sure you follow us there. Links, as always, down in the description. So as the pattern continues this week, Los, we are focusing on each one of our characters for flashbacks, and this is, I know you'd be so excited about this episode. It's Jules centric, and I can't wait to dive in. But before we do, overall, you were just saying we felt good about this episode. It's quick, a lot of things happening at this wedding of the year. Yeah.
Yes. I actually thought this episode I think it's getting better. I think it's getting incrementally better. I think we got a lot more story this one. I think the action in this one made it like that much better. There was shocking, outrageous scenes in this episode that made you want to shudder or made you a little squeamish and like just
a couple times.
Shocked,
yeah.
You know, but then it was weird. There was a lot of comedy in this. Like there was moments of comic relief in this episode.
Yeah.
Randomly, but and that's what I'm saying. Like, again, this show is serious, but like there's a lot of moments where it's like, oh snap! Like what?
Yeah.
Like are they trying to be fun? Like
it catches you off guard a little bit with the zingers and like what you would expect someone to say, but then they say the complete opposite. Yeah. Well.
Yes.
It's and I mean, is that do we chalk that up as a good thing or a bad thing for Sam, the showrunner, the creator of the show? I don't know. It's a one thing I did see is kind of a bit of just the only kind of bit of news we have this week is that it's kind of it's confirmed, as well as I don't know if maybe you've noticed this in the episodes or not, but due to scheduling and everything else, like Zendaya filmed all of her scenes for this entire season like 4 months before everyone else did. And so her leaving the wedding early was just due to the fact that while they were all filming all that, it took 4 months to film the wedding and none of it was filmed in order. So due to Sweeney and Jacob and all of the actors just being who they are now, it's this kind of this puzzle piece that they're trying to put together. And I don't know, maybe that's kind of what we're kind of feeling with some of these quick hits and cuts and jumps and reasonings behind people doing certain things might just have to be because of how they had to film it. Based on drama, restraining orders, whatever, I don't know, whatever else behind the scenes we've been talking about that's been happening.
It's funny because when we did post something about the behind the scenes, I remember seeing one comment under our stuff was like, oh, this has been debunked so many times, so let's stop spreading. And so I don't know I didn't go back and forth.
So let me bring that up real quick because an interesting thing happened. The same thing happened on Twitter, just at a larger scale for me. So it was in reference to us saying last week that the original season 2 plot or season 3 plot was supposed to be Nate and Jules. And because of her hating him and not wanting to work together, whatever, they switched it to Cassie.
Yes. And so which part is not true? Is it that there was no beef it wasn't supposed to be
that it was always supposed to be Nate and Cassie. And So now I posted that same thing on Twitter, and my tweet got like 2,000 likes and like 15,000 views because it was under some verified guy's account. I'll put it on the screen or something, but got a bunch of likes. And like 6 or 7 replies kind of saying the same thing. So we very well could have been way far off our basis, but I looked, I don't know if maybe there was an interview I can't find or that we missed that maybe Sam Levinson like confirmed that wasn't the case.
Yeah. But it seemed like all speculation anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's no All right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like the basis of it was the fact that there was problems between
Mm-hmm.
Jacob Elordi and
Mm-hmm.
then Hunter Schafer.
Right.
If that's true, I'm fine
Yeah.
with that being
Yeah.
the truth. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, if we were lying about that, then it's like, all right,
Sure, and I think
my
that would
bad.
even if that wasn't the confirmed case of Nate and Jules ending up together, and then because of the beef, I'm sure because of the beef, Sam,
Yes.
while writing, just kind of kept that in mind. So it's
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, because
very
they weren't really the only time they were ever depicted together in that season was in the car when when he's giving her
yeah,
the
one or two
information.
times, yeah,
Yeah, like giving her this, like so. Some of that definitely checks out. So,
yeah.
but sorry,
It's all good. You know what I mean? We can't bat a home run every time. But
yes,
speaking of Jules, let's dive into her life since high school. So we kind of get the opening of this episode, this kind of what do they call it? There's a term,
montage.
just a montage, of a code open. The code open
Oh,
before
okay,
the title
okay,
card
yes, yes, yes,
is
yes.
her journey of being a sugar baby. Now, I was
Mhm.
gonna write down the P word, but I don't think we're allowed to use it
No,
considering it's not legal. And so, but that's
yes,
essentially what we're doing here. I mean,
yes. It
it's
is.
yeah.
It is. That sugar baby world is different, man. So it's kind of goes with the E word. You know what I mean?
hmm
Like being. We'll just call it paid companionship. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
there you go.
saying?
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of paid companionship, it's like there's that weird line where it's
hmm
like it's kind of yeah,
Right.
it's not illegal to go on to pay someone to go on a date with you.
Yep.
But then what you do afterwards,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
And I
your
mean,
business.
and not to jump too far ahead, there's nothing illegal about saran wrap. And so we get
Oh,
all these guys,
that was wild.
we get
That was wild.
we get all these guys and we kind of see her progress, right? We start out with like the shy kind of guy who doesn't want sex, he just wants attention and for her to hang
Yep.
out with him. And then slowly kind of build and work her way up through these different kind of guys and people in the industry and those who make a lot more money than the last guy that she was currently dating. And then naturally we land on the plastic surgeon. I didn't catch his name. I didn't write it.
I didn't catch his name either.
That's okay.
So, but this is what I'm wondering though. This is about this scene, right? Like, because we on as men, right? We know that we can't really like not typically. You can't really like put yourself out there for sale. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's gonna buy you? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Whatever.
Like it's very
But
rare for a woman to pay for a guy's companionship. Yeah,
exactly, right? So, but I want to know, like, realistically, and I don't. We're not gonna get an answer right now, but how often do women just like when they're in that phase of life where they're just trying to figure it out? How often do women have that conversation with themselves where it's like, yo, girl, you know what I'm
What's
saying?
the limit?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, push that, yeah, like, yo, you want some bread? Like, oh, I know how you get some money. And then like they really consider it. Like they really consider it. Like, how often does that, and is it a cultural thing? Like, is it
Right.
based on like race and culture? Like, do some cultures talk about that stuff more?
Yeah.
Is it an age thing? Is it a like a regional thing? Like, oh yeah, them girls in the West Coast or the girls on the East Coast. You know what I mean? Like, I want to know, like, how often does that,
Yeah.
does that cross their mind?
Well,
Because it's there.
I
It's
feel
there.
like you and I have a mutual friend you can go and talk to right after this who understands the female psyche probably a lot more than us and maybe get an answer because I think that's the only way we'll ever. Yeah, that's such
Yeah.
a good question. Yeah,
Like,
I think about that a lot. Like I think about the fact that and at any point,
like
by the way,
how do you get there?
I mean,
How do you
and
get
I think you just decide. Like I would
Yeah.
just my guess would just be make a Twitter like all the other girls and put a link in your bio or like have a Google Drive with pictures and I don't know, but like
Because
it's
there's
just
levels to it too. Because
yeah.
some women will literally get in a relationship just for money. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like just for that
Yeah.
man's money. Not, I mean, and so like then they're still kind of living in
Like
that,
Cassie.
but it's yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit more, it's
Yeah.
moral. It's
Right.
it's not as frowned upon
Yeah.
because it's monogamous.
It's
It's
like
one
an
person.
official relationship, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
versus this like, paper relationship, this
Mm-hmm.
this
Mm-hmm.
monetary relationship. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah, it's an interesting thought. I'll ask Megs tonight, like what if I don't know if she's ever considered it or thought about it. I mean, I know she's considered it, but like I don't like where that beginning thought starts for a female. Yeah.
Does it matter if depending on your family demographic, like your family dynamics, like is it people from broken homes? You know what I mean, or is it like women that come from married families, like do they consider this as well?
I think 9 times out of 10, I think Law and Order SVU kind of taught us that that's usually the case. You know what I mean?
The broken home thing.
Yeah, like you usually don't have abusers unless they were abused kind of situation.
Okay.
But I think it's just this interesting path that we've now have a third character who is using her looks to get financial gain or just notable status, like Kat and Jules and Cassie. So man, let's talk about kinks, bro. I mean, a whole new meaning of wrap it up. Like it's just this was supposed to be one of our shocking moments of the episode, and I mean, here's my hot take. I mean, I'm definitely I'm not into it. I think Megs and our sex life's pretty average, but other than that, I didn't have a problem with it until he started making out with her in the plastic wrap and just in the plastic, like, I mean, hey, to each their own, and it kind of in this weird way was a symbolic, like, metaphor. Now, like, Jules is the piece of art, so like the artist becoming this thing that he admires, and like that's her goal. Like, she doesn't want to be in art school anymore. She just wants to paint on her canvas and do whatever she needs to do to get her rent paid. And I don't know. The whole thing was weird for me. How'd that go for you?
It was wild. Obviously, even like some scenes that they showed prior to that, like when she was with some other suitors.
Oh, little buddy licking her leg.
That type of stuff is like that's even more graphic and weird than what she was doing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
To each his own a little bit. I actually thought the conversation that they had prior to getting there, that's what caught my attention the most, because it's like, all right, bro, we in this world, right? And so I'm paying for discretion, right? I'm paying for, a certain level of like understanding. And like you could just tell Jules is green, you know what I'm saying? And she's asking, and shout out to her for asking these questions. And that might have been what intrigued this man to her. You know what I mean?
Like, does your wife know what you're doing?
Yeah, like, whoa. You asking too many questions.
Right. Like now. You don't get you don't talk about her. This is like, because that's what history has taught us. The man cheating on his wife and family is two separate things. And Jules bringing them into reality together. Yeah.
And so I was kind of, I mean, it was like, he kept it a buck though. He said, yo, my wife knows I got,
needs and
certain things float my boat, you know what I'm saying? And I'm into certain things, but like just the vulgarity in it. And I'm like, oh yeah, she's a rookie. Like, you know what I mean? Because I thought, I don't know that world, but like, I thought we don't talk about, I don't
professional
questions about this.
Jules is a rookie in the game. So she's still like, asking about your wife and your personal life. But a professional madame would be like keeping it classy.
It's not my business. It's not my business. Yeah,
wow.
But I guess, and then that's the difference between, again, because he opened up to her. That's the difference between her being just a one-timer versus her being the sugar baby.
And that's what got her in. Yeah, right.
That's probably what got her. That's probably actually what got her in, because he's like, all right, I could be open and honest with her. You know what I mean?
You and I come from a small kind of, I like to call it a cult following. I feel like you're the only person I know on this planet I can talk to you about this, about he's a plastic surgeon with the saran wrap nip tuck vibes.
Nip tuck, yes.
Especially with her being trans and just the whole, like, just a lot of nip tuck vibes there.
Because he was saying, once I knew he was a plastic surgeon, and he just kept saying like, oh, we could fix this, we could fix that.
Megs and I couldn't tell when, and maybe you just probably weren't looking, but did she get her tits done? Did she have done tits at the wedding?
it looked the way
I
it was
could.
depicted. It looked like there was an enhancement done. Like, I
Okay.
mean, and it made it seem, and she almost like implied it by saying something about it. Like, you know what I mean? But,
Yeah, what they're
um,
not perfect. Why aren't they perfect? Yeah, and then he's like, "Yeah, you could
yeah,
always improve." We couldn't tell. If it was a very suitable kind of, like, it wasn't like obviously
yes,
a crazy upgrade, but yeah, very appropriate if it was. I'm not sure if we'll get confirmation on that or not, or if, oh, we'll have to go to Twitter for that one. But yeah,
yes.
interesting.
Yeah, that was a very interesting. But it seemed like, though, to be, I don't know, I guess the bright side is that she seemed to find whatever she's found or whatever. It
Right.
seems like she doesn't. It doesn't seem like she has a lot of other clients. It just seems like
Well,
this
she's
is
just
the
seeing
main.
him now because he's
Yes,
paying her so much
yes,
money, right? So
yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's I we have 5 episodes left, and I just wonder if we'll get any more development on that. If that,
yeah. Because this is it. Like, this is the 5 episodes. Period.
yeah,
Right. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean. So, like, what? Yeah. To what extent are we getting that?
yeah,
I don't think we're gonna get any exposing. I think that's that guy's world. I don't think, like,
we're
I don't think she's
probably,
gonna ruin his family or
yeah,
anything like that.
no, we're
But
probably done with him. Okay, yeah.
yeah,
So then that's it. That's our cold open. We get the Euphoria title card. Just another thing to note, you had mentioned how good this season looks, as well as it being a little more lit than the last couple of seasons. Something I thought was interesting, just for the nerds of us, it's they use film. It is not it's not
yes,
digital. It's all
yes.
film, which is why we get just that depth of color and pop from pretty much almost every scene. So very interesting way to do TV in 2026. So we
Mhm.
cut to Rue and Homegirl's out here,
The gun runner.
3D printing modifications for AR-15s and a handful of other guns.
Oh, you
Um,
know what? I didn't catch that. So what do
Yes,
you?
they
I didn't
didn't
catch that.
yeah, they didn't really focus on it, but there's like a 2 second
Oh,
shot of Rue and I think Bishop or someone else from Alamo's crew standing over a 3D printer. And if you don't know about
oh,
that world, you probably wouldn't have caught it. But yeah, the number one thing is AR-15s are legal in this country because they are semi-automatic. Automatic rifles are not legal in the United States. But all it
yes.
takes is a $300 to $600 3D printer, some filament, and one file downloaded, and you can 3D print yourself a nice little piece that just attaches to your AR-15, and you can let that bitch spray, as they would say.
Wow.
So yeah, so
Wow.
they're 3D printing modifications. Same thing with like a 9 millimeter. Pop, pop, pop turns into blah kind of
Yeah,
situation.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Switch, right? They
yeah.
call it the switch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And Rue she's just, pulling dudes back into the room, doing the demos. I thought that was a really cool shot, just to kind of see her messing with all the guns and selling them to the clients.
Yeah, I was just amazed. I'm like, dang, she's a gun runner now. Like, this is Sons of Anarchy all of a sudden. Like, dang, she has her hands literally in everything, at this point. And I thought it was, yeah, I thought that was interesting. But the biggest takeaway, though, was that conversation.
Yes,
That she's,
the legit
yeah, the
combo.
legit conversation. And you know what? And it's funny because Alamo made a reference to something, and
Mm-hmm.
this is something that I've actually seen in a lot of different, like, depictions of like African American Black history, like, especially when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to, like, gangsters, crime. Like, if you ever watched what was it, I think it's like Bumpy Johnson, like, in it's Forrest Whitaker. He's like he plays Bumpy Johnson, and Malcolm X is in it.
Okay.
um so they depict it, like, the numbers, like, and they always talk about this numbers racket, this numbers racket. And
Mm-hmm.
I actually just saw there was another historical, like, fiction miniseries that came out probably in 2024. It was on Peacock. It's called Fight Night.
Mm.
And it's stars Kevin Hart. It has Samuel L. Jackson, and basically it takes
Okay.
place back in, like, the 60s, 70s. And it's like it's Muhammad Ali is in it, and things like that. And basically it's this big old fight that's about to happen. It's actually Muhammad Ali's return to the ring after he was in prison. And so Kevin Hart's character is like a little hustler or whatever, and he's doing this numbers racket. And but the big thing with it was they knew it was going away because the states were about to the states were about to take over and make it into the lottery, whatever. And so yes, when Alamo talks about that, like this idea of legit, like it's a real question. It's a real question that we got to have with this world. Like what is legit?
The numbers go to lottery. We had prohibition. Now the state runs our wine and spirits. We are continuously, I think, just like 3 days ago, continuously getting new legalities for marijuana. So what once was illegal, which I'm sure you and I probably both know people who have legal problems because of said plant. And it's like, well, now what happens? Now it's like, should we be praising those people? Let's get them out of prison. Like but do you think
even sports betting, even something even less
sports betting
was illegal. That was
and
illegal. Stuff was illegal. The only time you could play numbers or games and stuff,
you had a bookie in Vegas. Yep.
Yep.
You have to have a guy in Vegas. Yeah.
Women are doing it now, like to a bigger extent. Kids, like, you know what I mean? Like you don't, not kids, but like, like you could be young and at least adjusting stuff for some adult.
Is it too far gone, do you think, though, to I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's like when you think about like the lottery, alcohol, drugs, is it too far to then put selling weapons into that same category? It's just a general question to try to figure out, like, okay, no one would ever have thought that they were going to make alcohol legal for everyone to buy and you can just drink it and drive and do whatever you want.
Even too, like there was another series on HBO a long time ago with Maggie Gyllenhaal. And it was basically it's talking about like the adult film industry and like even how that started, whatever, and like how that was like super like
it's true.
Super illegal.
So what is legit, and how do you define that at a future generational right?
Yeah, because nothing it's about money. At the end of the day, it's about money, and it's about how can we if we could figure out a way to tax it, then we can make it legitimate. You know what I mean? And basically though, it takes people out of the game. You know what I mean? And the unfortunate part though is that the people that start these things, whatever racket it is, they never get to be the ones that get to fully legitimize into that system. Like they don't get to be a pioneer. You don't get to be an oil tycoon. You don't get to be a railroad tycoon like it was for the Carnegies and the Rockefellers and stuff like that with these other industries. You know what I mean? It's like, no, you get locked up and then some government official takes credit for it. You know what I mean? And then their friends and their relatives, and they get to share that generational wealth. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's just crazy.
Like, so it's an interesting. I didn't. I thought maybe when I first watched it, I was kind of on Rue's side where she like giggled and was like, "Well, I don't know." I was like, "Well, we're doing legit," or like, "What are you talking about?" I didn't process it that way before, but no, that makes a lot of sense.
Think about if even just let's take drugs and stuff. Think about if black people could have been lottery tycoon.
The whole way back.
Like lottery pioneers back in the day. Like the whole trajectory of a culture could be like somewhere else. Like people don't even. We don't even want to. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh no, it's illegal.
Right.
It's not a problem.
Interesting. It's so interesting.
Y'all could do it
until a politician comes along and makes it legal, right? Okay.
It's crazy, bro.
So Lori sent the pig back. So I mean the blood splatter getting on the dancer.
That was a lot really graphic. I don't even would they have done all that? Like damn, like
I mean it's I think a shot in the head probably depending on his gun. It's probably a high caliber type of whatever. I don't know anything about guns, but I would imagine if the gun's powerful enough, it would have splattered. Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got to figure out what are we gonna do? It's this pig. I think he even mentioned before the pig even showed up. Lori called him a pig. Like he's so stuck on this, and bringing it back into his club now. It's sent him over the line. So the only thing that we can really think to do is take it out on the bird.
Yes, Paladin.
Yeah.
Paladin.
And it's just that obviously plot line will thicken and we'll get to towards the end of the episode. But then we cut to the wedding, man. The wedding, the main meat and potatoes of the wedding. And I mean, hey, we gotta give flowers where flowers are due, even if they cost $50,000. It looked like $50,000 worth of flowers.
It definitely looked like $50,000 worth of flowers.
The flowers look great, babe. Yeah.
Yes, that's the first thing that people would recognize was like, well, I see why the flowers cost so much money. Like, they were everywhere. They were everywhere.
It was awesome. Yeah, I mean, definitely, probably. Hey, dare I say, could have spent a little bit of that flower budget on dance lessons, but to each their own.
But they did have a little routine though. They at least tried something. So, all right, here's the thing. So now this is a good question for you because you're in the wedding industry, right? Like you're in that world.
Yes, sir.
So, like, and because I'm a man, bro.
Yep.
So I don't really know what I'm looking at sometimes, but like any woman that's watching a wedding scene. They notice that dress, like they know that.
Let's talk about that dress.
They know it's a stunning dress. Like she could not. She's like, oh my god, that dress, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm sure it's nice, but like I'm like, what's different?
We can't appreciate. Men will never, and it's a situation where they come in all shapes, sizes, designs. We've seen everything from black dresses to white dresses to red dresses for the bride. Like it. It is just an industry of like, it's just like, there's no rhyme or reason. It is whatever the vision of the bride needs it to be, whether it's big and floofy like Cinderella, whether it's tight and skinny, whether it's fitted with a long train, a short train, no train. It is a veil or no veil.
You even know the terms. Like
you've
learned.
100%. Yeah. And then,
it, like, can you recognize like, oh no, that dress was it?
Yes. The dress. So the dress was stunning. It was a 16-foot train. So all the stuff that flowed down the stairs, everything behind the bride's dress is called the train. And typically kind of just, in modern society, the guy with the biggest balls usually wins, or the biggest truck. So it's the bigger the train, the more expensive the dress typically is.
Okay.
Just because it's more material.
It's dirty, doesn't it get dirty?
So if you are at if you were at a venue like theirs, probably not, because you're walking on like curated grass, and then you're headed right inside into a pristine, clean ballroom. And then also typically with, like we seen in this episode, much like Meg's did at our wedding, the dress switch into something shorter and a little more cocktailier to dance in and party in. Just because carrying around that 16-foot train all night would be a nightmare. And even so, 99.9% of the time after ceremonies, another thing that happens is called bustling, where we take it pretty much invisible, almost impossible to see unless you've done it hundreds of times, little invisible buttons that attach to little really invisible hooks on the back of the dress, so we can get that train up so it can be easily movable. Now, I don't think that's possible with a 16-foot train like she had. If we would have bustled it, it still just would have been dragging on the ground. So obviously the dress switch was necessary. Another fun fact about just the episode and behind the scenes, our friends over at Cartier Diamonds provided Sydney Sweeney with over $500,000 worth of jewelry that she was wearing in this scene. So $500,000 in jewelry. I don't think that was technically in Nate's wedding budget, but just as a behind the scenes moment, I mean, they went all out for her, and she said she had the time of her life. In a little bit of a clip. I have a clip. I'll probably insert that. So yeah, man, I mean, it's if the flowers cost 50 grand and the train was probably another 5 figures, I mean, it was easily a 100 to 150, maybe even pushing $200,000 wedding. That venue should not have cost them any less than $50,000, and I can't imagine that was just for the venue rental. So that times the probably 200 guests they had there. The average cost of a plate in Central PA for a wedding is anywhere from $75 to $125 a person. So at that venue, I would imagine maybe $200 to $300 per purse for dinner.
And that's the thing. It's only that expensive because it's a wedding, right? Like I've seen stuff like that too, like where it's like you go to get flowers, right? If you just say, "Oh, I need band arrangements for something like that," whatever, you get a certain price.
Yep.
But if you tell them it's for a wedding, it's a different price. It's a different price.
Yes.
Because so should you lie to your florist?
Well, no. I mean, they have to come set up those flowers. Like someone has to set them up, and the only person who knows how to do it is the florist. So if they show up to a wedding venue, they'll know, obviously.
And they gonna be like, "Motherfucker, now you owe me
probably right
$2,000." Like what?
Yeah. So it's. I mean, the whole thing. I mean, it's expensive. It's expensive, and because of that, we get our first scene. Nate's freaking out. Nate's going through it because we've got Nas on the phone calling him constantly. He's about to get married to a girl who he may or may not actually want to be with or is in love with.
You know what? I didn't actually catch the calls beforehand. I mean, I didn't realize, like, I didn't put that together. I just thought he was
dodging calls.
Male, jitters. I mean,
I think it was all of that, the whole thing. Yeah, all of it. Yeah. Yeah, so Nas
did he really not think that boy was going to show up?
Listen, so here's kind of what the timeline's saying, and what I've kind of noticed here is like we've seen Nate Jacobs, okay, in season 1 and season 2. Nate is typically for the most part like in control, but like also has the wherewithal to like come up with a plan, like. Okay, he lost control. He choked Cassie, but then he comes up with Jules, blackmailing Jules. So then she went and backed him up at the police station and making it seem like it was Tyler and beating him up and making him turn himself in, and just the whole mastermind manipulation of what was into season 1 and into season 2. That like this kind of season 3 version of Nate, it's just like. Is he pussy whipped, or is he phoning it in? Is it the writing? Is it the character? Because like season 2, Nate would have figured this shit out by now and not have Lil Buddy at his wedding. Like it would have. I feel like it would have been something would have been working in the background, or Nate would have done something.
Yeah.
But which is so crazy because once Nas shows up and pretty much blows the whole lid off of him. And we're jumping ahead a little bit, but the neighbor girl who's a bridesmaid goes right to her husband and is like, "Nate's broke. Why did we give him all this money?"
She was quick, man. She's a runner. She's a track star. She was running that stuff back to her. And then, and when he's like, "Well, yeah, but they got a lot of their money." I'm like, "Yeah, but like, dang, girl, like you ain't gonna let it play out a little bit."
Right.
Like,
she just quick. Like, she was quick. But
oh my God.
But then why didn't Nate immediately give that money to Nas? Like, I'm sure he had flowers to pay for. He had flowers to pay for, but still, I mean, 50 grand versus nothing would have been decent. Something.
Exactly.
A payment plan. I don't know, Klarna, but like just try to figure it out. Like, it's, interesting. So before we get all of that, we get to the ceremony, and I mean, before it starts, we see Cal and Marsha. I love Cal in this episode.
Yes.
Obviously still drinking, just going along with that storyline. But I loved him. I love that him and Marsha are on speaking terms. We find out they are divorced, but I guess that's, hey, it happens quite often or not. All the stress of the marriage is gone. So now we can just be civil human beings and just coexist with each other, at least at our son's wedding, which you'd be surprised. How often or not, we are told beforehand, hey, don't photograph mom and dad together. It was a nasty divorce. They'll start fighting at our wedding. So it's
wow,
you'd be surprised. Yeah, it's
Damn.
yeah.
Damn,
Uh,
so like, and when you are like, cause yeah, you are in, for people that don't know,
yeah.
like he does, like Levi does everything with weddings. I mean, he can be your photographer, he can be your videographer, he can be your DJ. I mean, the host, and so like, yeah, like not realizing all that type of stuff that goes into weddings. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And like, you gotta be, public relations. You gotta be the peacemaker.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be strategic with
Mm-hmm.
everything, and that's
Mm-hmm.
that's interesting. That's
Yep.
cool.
So we get Susie back, Cassie's mom. She's undoubtedly one of
Oh
my
my
favorite
god,
characters. I
love her.
love Cassie's mom.
She's a darling. I love
Susie
her.
was, I think, just a gem at the wedding. I
Yes.
mean, everything from
Yes.
being drunk on stage, singing "Get Low" to just this trauma dump that she gives her daughter
What a
walking down. I
monologue.
mean, I may or may not clip it and put that in because
Yeah.
that was probably my favorite part of this whole season so far.
Yes.
Just her, just like, as soon as I got married, I was never in love again, and just all of everything you don't want to hear your mother
Yeah.
tell you
Oh my
what
god.
you would
Yeah.
do.
Like, and I'm like thinking, like, and I'm wondering too, like, damn, dude, how much do people talk when they walking their daughter down the aisle? Like, do they
That's
really?
not a real thing. No, that part
I
of
was
a
gonna say
wedding
because
isn't. Yeah.
everybody would hear everything she's
Hmm.
saying. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
typically. Some of our weddings, it is a 2 to 3 minute walk from where they're coming from to get down to the end of the aisle where we're
Yeah.
not at. So I'm sure there's some conversations had, but yeah, as far as like right down the aisle, that doesn't happen. But
Yeah,
uh,
she basically saying like it can be the most unexpected mistake
mm,
that you make, like, I mean, or
mhm,
like you can't, you can't avoid it at this point. Once you get to this point, it's like, all right, well, you stuck now, girl.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, damn.
yeah. Here's another fun fact behind the scenes. There's a song. The song is called "If I Had a Right to You." And you'll remember in season two when like Nate and Cassie were sneaking around behind Maddie's back. And there was a scene where Nate went and got flowers and he was supposed to be going to see Cassie. And
Yeah.
then we see her like outside waiting for him, and then he never shows up and he goes to Maddie's house instead.
Yes.
It's the same song, except for the fact
Oh.
that it's just whatever violin version for her walking down the aisle. So kind of a flashback, or kind of like this thing where like Nate should have been with Maddie, like kind of situation. So it's
Uh,
they're doing a lot, especially in this episode, to like really either get us to think it, or maybe it's just foreshadowing for the future, but like they've really made it seem like this wedding shouldn't have happened.
yes.
And maybe not for
Yes.
financial reasons, but just Nate and Cassie to begin with. It's an interesting little tidbit sprinkled throughout the event that like would make it seem that it's not gonna all be rainbows and sunshine.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Yes.
Cal's speech, I mean, just I think that was probably just a genuine, like, them saying I love you to each other was kind of just putting the bow on that relationship. They've moved past the past, and it is what it is, and here we are, and there's nothing we can do about it, but you're still my dad.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
kind of seemed like a fun little genuine thing. And then speech of the year, Megs and I paused it, rewound it. Our jaws were on the floor when
Man,
Marsha.
the
So
shade on Maddie, man. Like,
it's
and it's crazy because
just.
she is in her feels this whole wedding.
Mhm.
She's in her feels and like
Well, I
feeling,
stood it.
and which here's the thing. Here's the thing. The problem I have with the wedding
Yeah.
is just the guest list.
Yes.
You know what
Why
I
is
mean?
she
Like,
there? Why is she there?
most of these people should not even be there. Rue
Right.
should not be there.
Right.
There's no
Rue-
reason for Rue to be there.
and half of them dipped. Like Cassie dipped, Rue dipped, Nas dipped.
Yeah.
Like everyone dipped after the ceremony, and it's like, well, we paid for your plate. You have to save for dinner. Like that's like $1,000 they just lost
Yes,
because of those
just-
three people
yeah.
not hanging out. Like,
Yep. Yeah, so Rue shouldn't be there.
Yeah, no.
Jules shouldn't be there. Maddie should not be there. At
no.
all.
And
You know
so
what I mean?
we find out that the only reason Jules is there is because Rue hacked her +1 and got her in. And
Mhm.
we don't know, did Maddie just show up, or was Maddie someone?
Didn't Cassie end up giving her the invite?
Oh, because she's doing the only right.
In the
Probably,
last- yeah, in the last
probably,
episode? Yeah,
probably.
like she was like a last minute like little ad.
Yeah.
which is crazy. You know, like
Yeah.
who has time to add somebody last minute
You
to a
don't. You
wedding?
have to give your final counts to catering like a month beforehand. So
Yeah, yeah.
now, granted, 90% of caterers out there will have 5 to 10 additional dishes, a lot of leftovers for you at the end of the night. So typically it's okay,
Yeah, or
but
I guess if you replace somebody,
sure,
you know what I mean?
sure,
Like,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
sure. I mean, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Both of the Jacobs guys then get their one-on-ones with Jules. Cal, and we get that whole thing gets buttoned up.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, I went away. I'm on a list. They found out. They got the tapes. They didn't get your tape though. So thanks, Nate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that
And
was a weird reunion. I didn't like that. That it made me feel weird for
yeah,
me.
it's just I think again that'll probably be the last of it. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna get more Cal in the rest of the season. That might have been. I'm not sure if we'll see him again. So just again, I think buttoning up his relationships with Nate and with Jules and just kind of giving him the send off that probably he deserves. So Cal and Jules was a little awkward. I was getting sexual tension when Nate and Jules talked to each other. She handed him the cigarette. Like you don't share a cigarette with somebody
Yeah,
unless
nah.
there's something going on. Listen, the timeline was speculating that Nate couldn't afford the wedding because he was one of Jules's sugar daddies. Now, obviously, I don't think that's not the case at all. But like
No, yeah,
this
no.
conversation seemed like maybe they had a conversation after high school. Like maybe there was a time or two that they hooked up. He looks at her, says, "You love who you love." That was weird to me. So
That
like
was weird. That was,
again,
yep.
there's this kind of tension, this friction between Nate and
But
Jules.
almost that I feel like that love who you love, that was almost like trying to let his dad off the hook too, a little bit. You know what I mean? A
Oh.
little bit of that. It
Mm.
was trying to let everybody off the hook. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like him,
Yep.
being with Maddie in the first place,
Yeah.
having a thing for Jules,
Yeah.
having a thing for Cassie, letting his dad off the hook for being a weirdo with Jules. Like it was
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Jules being with Rue, like
Mm-hmm.
Jules being with
You love
the
who you
other
love.
kid.
That's
You know what I'm
so right.
saying?
Right. Yep.
Like, yeah, I felt like that was like he was trying to let everybody off the hook. Like, hey,
That's
man,
true. That's
it is
true.
what it is. You know,
That's a good
like.
perspective. I like that. I like that.
So,
You go.
but the biggest thing though of the wedding, in this wedding scene is the uninvited guests. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Nas, and like it would the man, the tension that he just brings. Like this man just pops up, and yeah, and I know we talked about the lady running it back, whatever, but
Yeah.
like this man just being just bold and like talk about like that's what I'm saying. Like you have to be prepared for those kind of situations. Like you don't have no security. You don't. Yeah, I mean like anything. Like you don't have any type of way to kind of protect you from this. And I really thought that the dude was gonna crash out. Like yeah, I mean, but then I was like, nah, he's too gangster for that, whatever. But like
Mm.
his presence enough
Mm-hmm.
and what he was saying to
Mm-hmm.
Nate was enough for like that side lady to
Yep.
hear, like who
Yep.
was not even like right next to. Now
Yep.
Lexi is like hearing all of it, and
So
she's like, "Oh
Lexi's writing her second play mentally as we speak. She is
yes."
working on the sequel, like the wedding, of course. But no,
But
yeah,
just the
it's
chumminess of it, like oh, and so you're like one. I know people wondering like who is this? That's not his uncle. That's
yeah,
not his
yeah,
granddad. Like who is
yeah.
this random foreign looking man? Like you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
and
I
just
thought I thought he was gonna do something too. I thought he was
he
gonna do
was
something with
so
the wedding.
vulnerable. Like
Mm.
Nate was so vulnerable, exposed. It
Yeah.
was like, yo, this is not good.
For
And
for the first 2 seasons, Nate Jacobs is in control, and for the first
yes,
time, it's kind of spiraling now that he's in
yep.
the adult real world, and he doesn't have that high school kind of protection.
Doesn't have Cal to
Cal,
protect him.
right? Daddy to come, yeah, pay off the
Yep.
police. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah. So the neighbor lady finds out, she's yelling at her husband, and which gives us arguably one of the best lines of the season thus far. She's trying to get to the bottom of things with Cat. She's like, Cassie, what's going on? Where's the money? She's like, bitch, we gave you our kids' college fund. And without skipping a beat, Cassie says, I don't see how that's my problem.
Yeah, like what does
Like,
that have to do with me though? Like,
yeah, right. Like, and I mean,
don't.
she's got a point. Like, if your husband and yourself are dumb enough to write this 20-year-old a check for 100 grand. So the white fertility flower is
Oh my god, what an
this. So
idiot.
here's the thing. We don't know. It could is. Do you think it's BS? You think it's BS, or this could
Well,
be
yeah,
a real?
it's BS in the sense of like even just the explanation, like
Yeah.
because he's just like, what, a flower? And he's like, yeah, no, it's like a dozen flowers. Like, what? Shut up, man. Like I'm not. If I'm a grown man, I'm not buying this lip service from this young boy. Like, I'm just not.
Yeah.
I'm like, even if I'm that way, I'm smacking him right in his, like, bro, stop playing
A
with me,
fucking
bro.
flower,
Like.
Nate. That's what I. Yeah, smack him and say like any and the
Like,
fact
are
that
you? Come on, man. I'm a grown man, bro.
mm,
Stop playing with me, man.
and it
Like,
just and it was a we like getting him to like do like fuck that like the chant
yeah,
was
you're not motivating me. I need to motivate you to give me my money back. Like,
yeah.
stop
Where's my
playing with me, young
ROI?
boy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like he has a knack for finding weak and vulnerable people. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's really what it is. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like Cassie, weak and vulnerable
Yep.
person.
Yep.
You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep.
Even Jules to an extent, weak and
Mm-hmm.
vulnerable. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, exposed person.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's like, wow, that's the Jacob's way, though.
Yep.
That's the Jacob's way.
Right. Yeah. It was a interesting. We'll see how all that plays out.
Hmm.
What are we doing with Lexi's character this season? Lexi,
I
she
don't like it.
was one of the most intellectual, kind of like just observer background characters. We knew just enough about her, flirting with Fezco, like her whole thing has now pivoted to the point where she's just in the industry and doesn't like Christians, and now is standing on her Jonas Brother purity ring high horse of like at least I don't have HIV because I'm a virgin. Why would I even attempt to entertain the male genitalia? Like what weird, like she was in after a play away from fucking Fezco. Like, let's just
Oh,
be honest.
yes,
If he would have
yes.
showed up to that play, it would have been over. It would have been smash and grab. It would have been donezo. So
Yeah, but
like,
maybe that's the trauma. It's like, dang, when you want to have sex, somebody gonna die.
okay, yeah, this is true. We've seen that.
Extreme, you know what I
We've
mean?
seen
Like, so,
that played
a
out. Yeah,
young people think in extremes like that when bad stuff happens. Like,
I
see,
guess.
if I wouldn't see, like when I want to have sex, people I love die, and it's like, no,
Yeah,
that was just
yeah.
him.
It's
Like that
weird.
was.
It's weird. I don't really, I mean, listen, I don't have a problem with a character being a 22, 23-year-old virgin. That's fine.
Sure,
That
yeah,
story's
whatever.
been told over time, whatever. But like, it just
Yeah, her
it
character
doesn't
is
seem to
just
fit
dangling
Lexi. It
there.
didn't seem to
Yeah,
fit
no.
Lexi. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, especially too, like looking at your family, looking at her mom.
Mm-hmm.
Her mom's a lush, you know what I mean? Obviously gave it up, is probably giving
Mm-hmm.
it up to
Mm-hmm.
some younger boy, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, you know what I mean? Or, her sister is who she is. And so maybe looking at those examples and then looking at all her the other people that are
Right.
her friends,
Yeah.
maybe it is a scared straight moment where it's like,
Right.
I'm cool, but like, what are we doing with her character? Like
Yeah.
what's
Yeah, I
so
think
I'm hoping she
we
turns up.
probably get a little bit more from her. There's clips in the trailer that we haven't seen yet of her on the set of the show and things working there. So hopefully we get a little bit more.
Yes. Yes.
And then just to kind of wrap up the wedding, Cassie and Nate are getting drunk because she doesn't want to be poor and he thinks they are. And she starts freaking out. She's like, "Look, bro, I cook, I clean this big hideous house, I suck your dick. Like, it's what do you want from? Why can't you just? You're a liar. Why can't you just tell me the truth?" Calling him out in front of his boys, in front of the whole people can hear you during a slow dance situation. I mean, it's yeah, like she's just like during their dance together, she's like, "I don't want to be poor," and it's just like.
Yeah.
Like, where did this sense of needing to have all this money come from? Obviously, I guess probably from him just, I'm sure, spoiling her over the last 5 years. But yeah, it's a crazy situation, and she pops him in the eye with a cork accidentally.
Oh my god, yo, it's for me, that is the one of the most cringiest things ever. Like, just the when people are very uncouth and like they just don't have any tact, and it's like, okay, you can be upset with me, but like, bitch, there's a time and a fucking place.
Right.
Like, don't talk to me about this. Like, I hear you, but like, we not having this conversation right now.
Yeah.
Like, you're not about to, like, you know what I mean? You're gonna feel how you feel, but like, we both gonna look, if you keep this up, we both look dumb. You know what I mean? So like, how about you just kind of internalize this for a little bit, and then we can have this conversation later, and you can cuss me out later, but we're not doing this in front of everybody, because we look, because if you do, we both look dumb as hell. We both look dumb. What's the point of that?
Yeah.
I don't when people make scenes, I don't understand the point of the scene. Like, I never.
Now everyone knows your business. Everyone knows what's going on. Everyone's got questions. You gotta lie to them now. Now you gotta lie to cover up that shit. It's just like,
or even if you want to tell the truth, now you gotta tell the truth to how many people. Like, no, just let's save this. I hate that. Like, in real life, I just hate people that make scenes. Like, it does you nothing. You get nothing out of spazzing out in a public setting. It just, you know what I mean, especially with your loved one, like your husband now. Like, you get nothing out of this.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at a wedding either. Yeah, it's just I
just got everybody looking like, see, I told you so.
Right.
Like,
she's a crazy bit. Right. She's crazy. And also too, by the way, just, and because of the incident, it again kind of goes back to my point of like, what are we doing with Nate's character this season? Because if that would have happened with Maddie, she would have been chokehold slammed up against the freezer door back in the kitchen. Like, it's a very, very different reaction from Nate now versus then. So that's pretty much the wrap of the wedding. Then we cut back to Rue. We see Rue got called away because this is Alamo's attempt to get the bird and set up Lori. So he's got to call her to come do a drug run. That's why she leaves the wedding early.
Yeah. I was scared for her because I'm like, why would he put her in that situation again? I didn't know that the other guy was going to be with her.
Well, and we'll get to that in a second. So, but first, to the worst part of this episode, and I'm kind of just,
the phone call?
I don't like it. Yeah, the phone call, I didn't like it. That you couldn't take the footage and get permission from his family to do like an AI thing. Like, we couldn't come up with any other, I don't know, maybe an AI voice would have been worse, but it's like, why didn't we we saw him shot, we saw him bleeding, like, we could have just done a quick clip of a Rue talking over something at Fezco's funeral. Like, let's
like, it's no point to have him alive in this show. Like, if we're just gonna have like fake phone calls because in any show, anybody that's having a phone call, you hear hear or see the other person.
That's right. Yeah.
100%. You cannot have some private phone call on a TV show. You just can't.
And even if you would, just for story and spoiler, or for whatever creative reason to not give us that other voice, well, then it's like we don't get the full, like, she's like, oh, you're gonna break out with a spoon or whatever, like, in a mailbag, and it's just like her saying back just to give us that believability. Yeah, very
corny.
I didn't like it.
It was corny.
Yeah,
it was
corny.
It was bad. It was tasteless, but it was corny. It was like, bro, y'all really, that's lazy as hell.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. We did just cut it. Even if you're gonna tell us, like, them telling us that Fezco was in jail for 30 years, end it there. No more. That's it. Fine. He's in jail. Yep. Like, okay, that explains it. That's good for me.
No, he cannot connect with us anymore in the show.
The phone call just should have been cut completely. Yep. And
or or go the whole way. If you're gonna disrespect this guy and then freaking hire a new actor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Give us the look
Just
alike.
give us like a shot of the back of someone else's head from the jail cell or something. Yeah, something.
But we've seen like shows do that. They change the character, like change the actor. Like do that then. Like if you're gonna go that route, then do that. But it just looks tasteless because we know that y'all patched certain things together with this season because of the absence of this actor.
Yep.
So like, you got to meet us halfway, but that's not meeting us halfway. That's lazy.
Yeah.
That's lazy.
Yeah, so Rue and Bishop get to Laurie's compound, and I don't know about you, but like I before was just kind of regarded him as a background character, but quickly falling in love with Bishop. And just everything.
I knew he was more important. That's why remember when we was the discrepancy of who you're talking about, I really thought you were talking about him.
Yeah,
I'm
Bishop,
like, no, he seems more important than Marshawn Lynch.
I like the little.
What is that rat tail?
I've never seen
thing?
The double dread rat tail family. I thought you could explain that to me. I don't know.
I have nothing.
Is that like this like a black man's mullet? I think is
it's nasty. That's what it is. It's nasty work.
So the whole just really the only thing that happens in that scene is the Cowboys and Indians conversation between him and Laurie. She's like, I didn't know blacks like westerns because of the name of the bird is the name of a cowboy or something. And then just the whole like one of the guys on the couch asks him, "Are you a cowboy or savage?" They use savages, cowboys and savages.
Of course.
Yeah. So that scene was kind of
he's
just.
Like, yeah, I'm a cowboy. Yeah. So and that's the thing too. I started watching this one documentary and I never finished it, but like, cowboy, like the original cowboy is black. Like that's because it was like. It was a derogatory term. Like it wasn't even cool. It wasn't cool to be a cowboy. It wasn't like there was nothing cool about it, whatever. And it's not until it becomes like anytime something becomes popular or cool or a thing, that's when
Don't say it.
Dominant culture. I'll just say that's when the dominant culture says, nah, we're gonna take that.
Yeah.
And so then all depictions of cowboys in westerns is like a white savior. You know what I'm saying? And it's like cowboy was a derogatory term for like a ranch hand, a black ranch hand, you know what I mean? Whatever, like y'all didn't care about that. You know what I mean?
Go get the cowboy.
They're boys because they're not men, like they're your property.
Right.
And it's like, see, so he was hip. He knows.
Right.
I'm a cowboy, yeah.
Right. And referring to the racist swastika piece of shit on the couch as the savage because it's clearly what we're doing. But that went so far over their head. They're busy fighting over Faye and her disgustingness.
Oh my, that was the best line. That was the best line of the episode. He's like, what, getting AIDS?
Right, yeah. She's a funky little thing. No, that's the whole scene was very tense, very, very just kind of dramatic there, but shots fired. The bird is obviously.
But I feel like he could have been like, I thought it was discreet, and then it got like obvious, and I'm like, see, you could have been a little bit more like
something.
You ain't had to stand there looking all crazy, like picking at feathers, I guess. You know what I mean, whatever. I don't know what the hell. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a little weird. But he's got that weird.
Yep.
Kind of vibe to him. And
but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's gonna be to me, it's obvious that he killed the bird. You know what I mean? Like to Lori, like, is she gonna put that together right away, or is she gonna be like, I don't know?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that we find out. Obviously, I think in next week's episode.
Yeah.
So we've got kind of two endings here. To get to next week. Nate and Cassie get home. Basically, the limo ride home is him just giving her this whole Cassie Jacob speech. I'll never let you go.
Yes.
I'll never let you down kind of situation.
Reassure her.
Yeah.
See, to me, if somebody comes to my wedding unannounced, and I know that this man wants, hundreds of $1,000s from me, and then he seemed like he was about to hurt me at this wedding, but he kind of took it easy on me. to me, it's common sense that like somebody's gonna be waiting for us when we get home. Like to me, that it's
Yeah.
common sense. Like we cannot go back, we cannot go to the most obvious place.
Yeah.
I mean, like, why is, I don't know. I mean, I get it. Like, it wasn't a destination wedding, so you're not like,
Right.
vacation. Like, I
Yeah.
guess, yeah, typically you go home, right? Or,
Yeah.
I mean, like after a wedding, I
Most
don't
of the
know.
time, yeah. So on average, most of the time, if the venue is, which I'm surprised that that venue being so large didn't have a whole floor of rooms, which I would imagine
Yes.
it did. So typically with the cost of a place like that, you do stay the night just because all
Yeah.
your stuff's there. The party goes till 10, 11. You can drive home
Yes.
drunk, like the whole thing. So typically that does happen, but I mean, yeah, I guess for the sake of the story, yeah, just again, maybe just Nate being not as smart as we thought he was,
Yeah.
like he has been.
Yeah.
But I mean, this scene was so just one last kind of behind the scenes from what I've read. If it's true, I'll probably get torn up on Twitter about it. But Cassie was supposed to be helping Nate when he was getting beat up. Like she was supposed to be like trying to pull the guy off of him or like in some way be involved. And then they kind of rewrote it and respun it into her just being pissed and crying and the blood on her face and just like making it about her and not really giving a shit.
Yes. Yeah,
Like,
and that's what made it it was absurd. Like there was that's why I like oh, this is comedy a little
uh-huh.
bit. You know what I mean? Because it's the background is him getting his ass
And it's
whooped,
just
like
exposition
dragged.
just stuck on her.
Yes.
Just, oh, that
And
shot
he's
was
just
so good. And he's getting dragged down the stairs. Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, it was like oh, I was like, oh, this is comedy now. Like this is what we're
Well,
doing.
right. No,
Like,
that's what it felt like. There's a movie. Have you ever seen the movie Date Night? Not Date Night, not Date Game Night. There's a movie called
okay,
Game
yeah,
Night
I probably have.
with Rachel McAdams and
Yes.
Jason
Jason Bateman, right?
Bayman. Yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
such a good movie. But like in
Yeah.
that scene, the brother like hires a fake home invasion for their game night. Like it's a real life, like he's gonna be kidnapped, but then obviously, much like Euphoria, the people he owed money to came right before the game night people and beat him up. And the whole time he's getting beat up in the kitchen, his brother and their buddies are eating a charcuterie board out in the living room, just commenting on how nice the house is.
Yeah.
And it's just
Yeah.
that kind of same energy of
Yeah.
like her and Nas having a conversation. Like he's like, the boy doesn't listen. And she's like, I know, he
I
doesn't listen.
know,
I
and it was
know.
annoying though. It was so annoying. Like I get it, but it was annoying hearing her
Yeah.
cry, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, like, and I'm glad they didn't do anything to her. Like, I mean, because yeah, stuff like that, it goes into stuff, weird
Mm,
stuff. You know what I mean? But I'm like, no, this looks like a we don't harm women and children type
mm,
of guy. I mean, like that's what it felt like at least.
weird. There's a scene in the trailer that would probably contradict everything you just said. So
No,
let's
I'm just saying,
at
like
least
in
right
this,
now, for right
yes,
now,
yes,
yeah. But I
yes,
think Cassie gets into some. We'll see.
yeah.
So yeah, yeah. No, I like that they didn't touch her at least for now.
Yeah.
And that whole scene was just kind of just the toe, man. The toe was.
Yeah, that was too graphic.
What do you?
I like stuff like it's weird.
Yeah.
I cringe and stuff, but I can't. It's hard for me. I'm like a kid, bro. I'm like,
Yes.
oh,
No.
ow.
Yeah.
Like
I'm not good. I'm
couldn't. I
not.
was like, ah,
Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah.
ah.
My.
And then like when they chop it off, it's just like squirting. Like the blood is just like it's a fountain, bro. Yeah, it
So
was.
my question. Two questions.
That's what I'm saying. I watch Saw and stuff like that. So, but
Yeah.
I'm like, when I'm
Right.
watching Saw, I'm just like,
See, but to me,
like,
so that's where my brain segregates everything. Is when I'm watching this like Euphoria scene, this is real to me. This is a man
okay,
coming into your
okay,
house.
okay.
This could happen to me. Someone could come
Yeah,
into my
no,
house,
yeah,
beat the
hell
shit out of me,
yeah.
and cut my toe off
Oh yeah, I was
all
holding
day,
my feet. I was just
all
like,
day. But like
ah.
something like Saw, yeah, like I'll sit there and watch them dig through needles with a thing on their head with a
No,
bear trap and a thing or whatever. Because that to me is just like no one's gonna do that to me.
no, but I
Like who?
think people will do it though. I think.
Who knows? But yeah, it's a very very graphic situation.
Yeah, I'm like, whatever body part is getting, I'm holding that body part.
So
I'm
if
like, oh
you so
no.
question number one, if you owed someone over $500,000 and they came into your house and beat the shit out of you, what would you want them to cut off? I feel like the pinky toe. Here's the thing. I feel like the pinky toe was his best option. You don't need it for balance. You get it sewed up and you wear a shoe. No one's ever going to see it. No one's ever going to know. Like the only thing they're going to see is his beaten up face. And so yeah, it could be whatever. Like, oh, my wife hit me. Who cares? But like, I feel like that's the best option. The pinky toe might be the best option.
Pinky toe, but wait, you don't need it for balance at all. It's not gonna make you walk with a limp at all.
I think it's your big toe. I could be completely wrong, but
you ain't gonna have no limp to it. I feel like, all right,
if you just put like a little plastic nugget down there, like just a little
crust. But that's the thing. The thing is though, this man, like as helpless as his wife was, I mean, that scene. She did nothing to give him any care. Like, so like that it's done. Well, like I feel like he literally should have bled. He probably bled to death, like realistically, based on how she was reacting after there was no like I gotta help, like no panic.
She was in shock,
yes, but it was like no like panic help. It was just like so all right, I'm thinking because I'm trying to think. Yes, I don't want to lose any of my.
I need all my fingers. I need my hands. Yes.
You know what? I kind of thought like, all right, maybe not the whole thing, but like, could you take like a piece of my ear,
like the tip of your ear? Yeah,
like a tip of the ear, maybe the lobe or something like that, like something that's like cartilagey, like where it's like I'm not necessarily gonna like
no bone, the bone.
I don't want to. Don't fuck with my face.
Oh yeah.
Like, now, like you could pull a tooth out. Okay. I mean, just raw, and I mean, I deal with that. Yeah. You know what I mean, but like, don't. Oh,
I feel like
nose.
I feel like pulling a tooth out definitely would be probably a little bit better than cutting off a toe.
Yeah, like you could just like certain yank a molar out. Yes, it would suck.
Yeah.
But I could live like nobody has to see that.
Right. You can easily get that fixed. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever I gotta do.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going teeth. Teeth.
Second question. What, and you kind of touched on it, but what do you do immediately after that? Because my brain is like, do you wrap it with a towel and go to the hospital? Do you, I like the movies would have Cassie take a knife and heat it up and solder the damn thing. Like, I don't like, what do you, because if you go to the hospital, you're going to have to say you stepped on some gardening tools or like something.
You can't tell somebody that you got to somebody cut it off.
Yeah. So it's, we'll see if they let us know, but I can't imagine that was just like, it would have been kind of cool to see like 5 more minutes of them leaving, Nate on the floor bleeding out, and like how Cassie maneuvered.
Yeah, like where are your wifely and motherly maternal instincts at? Like what are you doing to help me out in this situation? Because it's right away though, it's like we need an annulment. Like let's both sides for like, I mean, obviously from her, like it's like, yes, like no, we can't do this anymore. But like even from him, it's like you did nothing. You didn't grab nothing. You didn't, you know what I mean? I got a gun somewhere. You didn't do nothing to preserve nothing. You know what I mean? You just sat there while I got my ass beat. Not that again, I don't want you to help too much because I don't want them to harm you.
Right.
But like
go to the kitchen, get a knife, babe. Like
something, you ain't got you ain't got that little pistol in your purse that I bought you. Like, you know what I mean? Like this is, I don't know. I guess it's California, so maybe they don't believe in that. I don't know. But it's like,
yeah. Well, and that okay. So here's,
if I know how old people, that much money, you have to arm your wife. You have to arm her.
Well, it's that, but even too, we're living in this giant mansion. You guys don't have like ADT or any like a ring camera. So like there should be a button.
You don't have a dog?
There should be a button right beside the front door that immediately contacts the police of a home invasion. Like, I mean, I'm sure Nas might
we seen them. Yeah, they didn't have to disengage anything. They just were there. Like,
it's interesting storytelling, but we're obviously not going to be done with Nate and Nas's relationship anytime soon. So curious curious to see how that turns out.
Yes.
And then our last but not least final scene, I think, of the show is Miss Rue getting pulled over by the DEA. And so here's my thing. The way that Alamo talks to Rue, in the sense of like the legit conversation, and even when he was on the phone with Lori, like just give me Rue. She's expendable. She's retarded. Like she's not worth anything. I'm wondering if, like, do you think the DEA pulling over Rue was like an anonymous tip in from Alamo and his friends? Because
no, that was the people. Now I'm convinced that's who was watching her when she dropped off the girl to the rehab.
You're right. They've been following her. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they've been following her. So, but yeah, so they know things. Yeah, I mean, they know that the rehab is a front.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whatever. So
they just sit. They sit on it.
If they left Lori's house, they know Lori's house is implicated in drugs. I mean, like, yeah. So yeah, that's who. But you know, we didn't know whose hand it was or whatever who was waiting out there. But now it's like, oh, that's it's clearly the DEA. Yeah, to get pulled over by the DEA is crazy. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, you got to be on like some list in order for them to even know you exist. You know what I mean? Like they're not. Like, what? And for I mean, obviously the guns are a big deal, but like for doping up the girls at a strip club, like something tells me that's not a DEA case. So the bigger picture there.
Unless overdoses, and I mean, involved with fentanyl.
If fentanyl gets brought up in the toxicology, then DEA gets brought in. Right. Yep. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and maybe the girl that died, for all we know, maybe she was being like followed or like investigated in some way, and now and that's their way in, and like she ain't answering her phone call. She must be dead.
Right.
Let's figure out what happened to her.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Well,
I didn't see the previews because I don't know. I just once it was all over, I turned it off.
Yeah,
I didn't see any trailers.
It's just more of what we know. It's Cassie linking back up with Maddie to do OnlyFans. Okay. It's Rue being interrogated by the police. And that's just pretty much. I think that's pretty much it for next week. I don't know too much of anything else that's coming. I know everyone was pretty like it was just like insider information. Like we knew the wedding was happening this week. But I don't think we have anything else that's coming up next. So more to come. Next week we've got 5 episodes left. There's 8 total, so you have 5 left. That'll take us through May, and
so next week is halfway point. So
halfway through the season. One last tidbit because I have it saved here. And there's kind of been one scene from each one of these episodes, but the absence of Labyrinth in his music, whatever song they were playing when Maddie was slowly walking in with almost nothing on to the wedding, was like 100% should have been a Labyrinth song, and I think it was just like weird jungle noises or something.
Well,
like it's
you can. I don't know though, because like if Labyrinth is making all those like like I don't know if that fits this season either. You know what I mean? Like just even the way everything looks. And like I seen a video that was just talking about how it was shot before, and it was like this. Yeah, basically more like slander and just rhetoric about Sam Levinson and how he stole this idea, and it was like some type of like art project that somebody else was working on, and he's like, I made it into a show, and it was all this like. That's why it was all dark and like, whimsical, like almost like depiction of teenage life, whatever. And then it's like when you grow up, like it gets brighter, like and like it's like you got to wake up because the lights are, in your face. Whatever. And so like when you're an adult, you're way more alert. When you're a teenager, you're just in this haze of like life
at the house party, like, floating, drunk.
Yeah, it's like really going. Yeah, your life is like. Yeah, when you know how it was, bro. You feel like gonna take you forever to become an adult.
Yep. Yeah.
Not realizing like that shit is it's the shortest period of your life. Like
right.
even childhood, like that shit is all short,
It's
bro.
over.
Like
Yeah.
you're an adult for decades. You know what I mean? If you're lucky. If you're
Right.
lucky.
Yeah. That's an interesting show full of analogies and metaphors and other things. Well, all right. Anything else on this episode, fam? I think that covers it. Yeah, we'll see how this goes.
No beast mode this episode, so we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. As always, folks, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, we're there. Listen, like, download, subscribe. Our Instagram links are in the description below. Until next time, Los, it's been a pleasure, my friend. Week 4, we'll see what happens. I'm excited. I think this episode was ranked like the highest so far. I think like a 7.8 on average. So
I think
we'd take it up to a 7. I'd say is per the last few episodes. Yeah, not terrible, but
it's not the best TV I've ever seen, but it's better than what I think it's. Yeah,
we're looking forward to it every week, which I think is the bare minimum. Like that's got to be check 1. Like if check 1 is it needs to be something that like I make time for and sit down and watch every week, which is rare, especially with streaming in 2026. It's like, so cool, man. All right, more to come. Until next time, peace out, everybody.
Peace.